Sadguru Sharanam. Hi dears, how's it going? Are you afraid that people would laugh at you if you speak in English? Are you afraid because you don't know that much of vocabulary? Or you make grammar mistakes? Or you're afraid to ask questions because you don't know how to frame correct questions? Are these your problems? Then don't worry, because every problem comes with a solution. So here, today we are going to learn how to frame correct questions, good questions. So are you ready? Then let's get started. Before we start, please subscribe English Guru, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, share it, and please put your valuable comments. Welcome to English Guru's brand new episode. I am Ashalada Srijit. No one becomes an expert conversationalist overnight. But learning how to ask good questions and wait for answer are important steps to improving your communication skills. Asking direct and open questions makes your expectations clear, and it helps the listener to answer those questions appropriately. So it's very important to ask good questions to keep the conversation going. Today we are going to learn how we can convert statements into questions. And this method is really very easy and effective. So the first thing is, you read the statement and you have to invert the word order to frame a question. Note this point. You have to insert some question words like do, does, or did. So now you will be confused because you don't know which word to be used here. Don't worry, you just read the statement and analyze the sentence. You will get the clue to select the correct word. After watching this video, you will certainly feel that it's really easy to make questions. Drinking is injurious to health. So how to frame a question to get this sentence as answer? First point is, you have to invert the word order. I told you. So we'll take the word is and place it in the beginning of the sentence. So, is drinking. So, this is inverting the word order. Is drinking, the rest of the sentence, injurious to health. So, is drinking injurious to health? Repeat with me. Is drinking injurious to health? Yes, drinking is injurious to health. The next sentence, people all over the world speak English. People all over the world speak English. In this sentence, there is no is, am, are, has, no such words are there which we can place in the beginning of the sentence. So, what should be done? In this case, we will add do. Why did I select do? Because people, take the word people. People is the subject. Considering people as plural, we have to use the word do. Do people, then the rest of the sentence. Very easy. Do people all over the world speak English? So yes or no questions can be begun with do, does, or did. So repeat with me. Do people all over the world speak English? Yes, people all over the world speak English. The answer is no. You could say like this. No, the people all over the world do not speak English. If you have to give a negative statement as answer, you have to add do not. See the third sentence. She lives in a working women's hostel. She lives. So there is no is, am, and are. So we have to choose either do, does, or did. So let's look at the verb. She lives. That means that is present tense. And she is singular. If the subject is singular, we have to choose does for that. Okay. So here, does she? Now, the next verb, lives. No, we cannot say lives here because we have added does. When does is there, you have to say, does she live? Does she live in the working women's hostel? Come on, repeat with me. Does she live in a working women's hostel? She lives in a working women's hostel. Suppose the subject they. What could be the question? Do they live in a working women's hostel? Come on, repeat with me. Do they live in a working women's hostel? They live in a working women's hostel. When do comes, there also the verb will be without yes. In the plural form, the verb should be without yes. So, do they live? Does she live? From this, what do we understood? That with do and does, you should use the verb without yes. So fix this in your memory. This is a place where most of the people make mistakes. When do and does come, the verb will be without yes. Live. Does she live? Do they live? So keep this example in your mind to remember this rule. Does she live? Do they live? And later, when you feel doubt regarding this aspect, just remember this example. Then this example will help you. And one more thing is there. She lives in a working women's hostel. Here we are getting an information. Working women's hostel. That's a place where this girl is living. So you can ask this question also. Where does she live? Okay, so then the question becomes, where does she live? When you get some information as answer, you can add WH words like this. Where, why, when, who, whom. So in such cases, you can add this question word before does or do. Where do they live? In that case, it would be where do they live? So repeat with me. Where do they live? They live in a working women's hostel. Yes. Where does she live? She lives in a working women's hostel. In the answer, we have to say she lives. There is no does in the answer. When there is no does in the sentence, you have to follow the subject-verb agreement. And the subject is singular, the verb should be singular. Verb should be with S. She lives. Next sentence. She can work hard. First, invert the word order. Can she work hard? Can she work hard? She can work hard. The next sentence. The boy has curly hair. We have to invert the word order. Bring has in the beginning. So, what would be the question? Has the boy curly hair? The boy has curly hair. Come on. The boy has curly hair. You ask the question. Has the boy curly hair? Has the girl black hair? Has the girl straight hair? Now see the sentence. He thinks too much of himself. So this is in present tense. So do or does. But do or does? Which one? So see the subject. He is the subject. So naturally the word is does. Now does he? When does comes, we have to remove the S from the verb. So does he think? Does he think too much of himself? Answer, he thinks too much of himself. Does he think too much of himself? He thinks too much of himself. So in the answer, he thinks, because there is no does in the answer. See the next sentence. The elephant is the biggest animal on land. So here there is is. So invert the word order. Is elephant the biggest animal on land? Gopal's uncle works in this office. Gopal's uncle works in this office. So here, Gopal's uncle, singular, does. Does Gopal's uncle work? It's not works because does is there. Does Gopal's uncle work in this office? The train is running too fast. Is the train? Is the train running too fast? The train is running too fast. Is the train running too fast? So easy, no? She obeys her parents very much. She obeys. So obeys. She. So does. She is there, so does. Does she obey? When does comes, it's obey. Does she obey her parents very much? Does she obey her parents very much? She obeys her parents very much. The church is situated on the hilltop. So this is very easy because there is. So just invert the word order. Is the church situated on the hilltop? Is the church situated on the hilltop? Come on, is the church situated on the hilltop? The church is situated on the hilltop. The ship sailed yesterday. The ship sailed yesterday. This statement is in past tense. So when past tense is there, which word you will use? Do, does, or did? Did. So did the ship sailed? No. Did the ship sail yesterday? So when did comes in a sentence, the verb should be V1 form. Simple present. Sail. Did the ship sail yesterday? This is another major common mistake that almost all of the learners make because they don't know which verb to use with did. People think that when did is used, you are speaking in past tense. So naturally, past tense form of the verb should be used. But that's not the case. Because when did is there is no need to say one more past tense verb. Did will do the job. Okay. Did is there to show that the sentence is in past tense. So, did the ship sail yesterday? The ship sailed yesterday. But in the answer, you have to say sailed because there is no did in the answer. So, naturally, past tense should be shown in the sentence. So, the ship sailed yesterday. The English defeated the French. Same as the above. Again, this sentence is in past tense. Defeated. So, naturally, we have to use did. Did the English defeat the French? Okay, did the English defeat the French? Here, the English, it represents the country, the English people, not the language. Okay, so here, did the English defeat the French? French means French people or the French nation. Now, the sun rises brightly. Here, we have to use do or does. Rises. Sun. So, sun is singular. So, does should be used here. Does the sun rises or rise? Yes, rise. Does the sun rise brightly? The sun rises brightly. Practice questions for you. You have to frame the question and type in the comment box. The first sentence is, India is the largest democracy in the world. The weather is hot. The weather is hot. He went yesterday. He went yesterday. So with this, let us wind up this video. But I have to remind you one thing. If you want to speak English, if your aim is to speak English fluently, you have to practice speaking. Listening is not enough. Reading is not enough. By listening and reading, you will be able to write good English. You will be able to understand good English. Everything is okay. But if you want to speak, you have to practice. So, what I have to tell you is that you practice all these questions and answers by speaking it loudly so that your tongue becomes flexible to speak English. Like we have to practice running, swimming, whatever it is, we have to practice to be an expert in that field. Speaking is also just like that. It's a skill. Okay, speaking is a skill. Just like singing, just like drawing, this is a skill. And a skill should be developed by practicing. Or a skill can be developed only by practicing. One more tip I'll give you. You have to read out some articles. You have to read some English articles or whatever it is, some stories loudly. For half an hour or at least for 15 minutes, read something loudly so that you can listen to your own words. So reading out loudly fills your mind with confidence. You start feeling that you can speak English. Even though you are reading some newspaper or book, this English is flowing out through your mouth. So you'll get that confidence. Don't ignore this tip. Every day you have to read something, at least for 15 or 20 minutes. And then for 15 to 20 minutes, you just read out some dialogues. Practice these questions. And if you have somebody to practice with, please start today itself. You may make mistakes, but don't worry, mistakes are very good. When you feel that you have made mistakes, you just pause and you just note it down, and then later you refer to that and you just clear all the doubts. And again, you just repeat that sentence using the correct structure. So this is a process. Learning English, learning to speak English is a process that you have to do yourself. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Sadguru Sharanam.